Well, starting off the weekend with new toys. A couple of discs for it. Oh, and it came with brushes, which is nice. And a project. Going to be making a sort of grisly thing today. I'm seeing in my mind something on here where you could just dump rock, anything that's smaller than this, so it's 1 inch mine is, I think. This might be 3/4 inch openings. So 3/4 mine is, or 1 inch mine is. Everything that's small enough goes through, everything that isn't goes off, and I'm going to cut that sheet metal from the Datsun and use that to make a chute. So it doesn't just pour all over the place, and you could put maybe a 5-gallon bucket down there and have it funnel all in. So yeah, let's get chopping. Took a little bit of angle iron, cut into 3 pieces, ground off the paint, and right now I'm cutting out the sheet metal for the funnel. And if you don't have one of these, not this brand in particular, but a shear, you're missing out. These things are great. Sails right through the metal. Alright, the piece has been cut out, and I don't know why I didn't think about it, but I should have left these sort of long tabs so that when I fold them up they don't have a taper, but that's what welders are for, and rivets and shit, so I'll figure that out. But anyways, these lines here are where bends need to be made, so I'm going to get a little creative with the vise here. So when you don't have a brake and your jaws are kind of thin, a good way to get a bend, if you have to do a fairly long bend, see how these are narrow, is you start on one end, and I find that you just bring it part way over and sort of work your way along with the vise, and that'll end up, well, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get to this end because I don't have enough space in this vise, but yeah, you just sort of, you work your way over. I got some heavy duty pieces of steel on the ground over there, so I'll put over the edge on those and then give it a bit of tappy tap tap, and yeah, Bob's your uncle. Alrighty, there's one side bent, and the obvious solution that I should have seen for getting on the other end, you just flip the whole thing over. If you stick it in the vise like that, there's plenty of room. And then when you get the upper part, you stick it in the vise like that. So yeah, sometimes you gotta get a little creative, but there's a solution to every problem. Yeah, let's get this other side knocked off. Clean off the edges on that top part. I think I'm gonna cut another strip out of that scrap piece I cut off, and then just rivet it to here. Yeah, that'll probably be easiest. It'll be a little funky looking, but whatever. I'm not trying to win any beauty contests here. Function over form, eh? And there you go, pretty decent looking bends. Just goes to show that you don't need any fancy tools or whatnot to make things with sheet metal at home and have them come out, relatively decent. I mean, it's got that homemade look to it, but whatever. Yeah, all you need is a vise and a hammer, and give her a good thumping. Okay, decent looking tabs. This side kind of wandered a little bit, but I cleaned her up with the 10 snips. So yeah, let's drill some holes, do some riveting, and get this sucker finished. Okay, so here's the rivets I'm going to use. These are aluminum aircraft rivets. So yeah, I'll find a drill bit that's the right size. These are a little long for this application, so we're going to trim them down a little bit, leaving just enough so that they mushroom real nice. That way I don't want these guys coming off. So yeah, let's get going. It's a little bit of an awkward setup, but should get the job done. Pro tip, when you're drilling through 2 pieces of metal, use a vice grip like this. Gives you something to grab onto to hold the metal, and ensures that the holes will line up because they're, well, clamped together. So yeah, let's get to drilling. So now that I got 2 of these drilled, I'm going to go ahead and set these rivets, and that way I don't have to worry about the whole thing wobbling around. And yeah, it'll just make the whole thing easier because now it's going to be mounted together in at least 2 spots. And yeah, then I'll get the other side. Get these 2 set, get the others drilled, drill that side. Yeah, get this thing together. Got to get moving here. Well, it took a little bit of hunting, but finally found the old girl. Here is my rivet set. And it's, she's a little worn, but it'll get the job done. So I'll show you how to set a rivet here. It's pretty quick and painless. So start by trimming down these rivets to a decent size. And these are aluminum, so I think I could use, actually I'll just use the bolt cutters. A little overkill, but they'll definitely work. Okay, so this first one's going to be a test. There is an ideal ratio of thickness to meat, but I'm just going to eyeball it. I think right about there should be enough. Oh god, these are two-handed bolt cutters and I'm doing it single-handed. Okay, come to Papa. Come on, there it goes. And she got cut at a bit of an angle, but focus, come on. It should be about the right length. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, where'd she go? Oh my god, I lost the whole thing. This is a story of my life. Is it on the... Oh, here it is. Nobody panic. So, oh boy, this is going to be interesting one-handed. You take your rivet, and you shove her into the hole. Just like so, and it's a bit of a tight fit. Oh, taking out everything in here. Okay, I need the... Okay, you'll notice that the rivet is now in the hole. And, yeah, actually, I'm going to trim a little bit more. That looks like that's still way too much meat. Right about there. That's perfect. So now, oh, this is going to get interesting. So, well, I'll show you what you're going to have to do. You essentially get the whole thing, stay there, like so. And you take the rivet set, and you make sure that the head is in the divot, and then you whale on it until the other side deforms to make sure that the two pieces are formed as one. So yeah, let me do that right now. Yeah, see? So this side got a couple good thwacks against the flat part of the vise there. And it has also come to my attention that my rivet set is a little small. That's why you can see it left an inside wear mark that's smaller than the diameter of the head, but it's good enough to set it. I wailed on it a little harder than I should have. Maybe you can see there's a bit of a dimple there. But this guy, this is one. It's not coming apart. And I might even put a little weld bead on each end just to hold it, because I'm going to weld this bottom part onto that screen out there. So yeah, let's get to drilling and riveting. Get this sucker together. Well, there's one side done. And I gotta say, it's pretty decent looking. I rounded over the corners so that when rocks hit it, it's not too bad. And, you know, in this modern day and age, most people would just stick pop rivets in this. But, I don't know. I really like the look of old aircraft rivets. So, yeah, and they only take a second longer to set anyways. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get this other side underway. And let's get moving here. I'm burning up the day. And there we go. The finished funnel in all its glory. Yeah, I know the spacing's way off on those, but whatever. This is a sort of off-the-cuff, no measurements whatsoever, slap it together, and get on down the road sort of deal. So yeah, let's weld this thing to the bottom. First tab has been welded in. Don't mind the ugly welds. This was just the test to kind of dial in the settings. So yeah, let's get the rest of them. Okay, we got two tabs in. It should hold sort of side-to-side movement. Now we got to mount this guy like this on the end here, and then it's just welded in that guy, and then the sucker's done. I'm calling it. Project's finished. Alright, end piece is welded in. So now we're just going to take this guy, flop it right on top like that. That's essentially the finished product right there. So I just got to figure out where I'm going to tack it. Yeah, well, that's it. She's done. Turns out the easiest way to do it was just to go along and throw a tack at the very end of these. And I also did the same if we flip it over here. All along the top. So yeah, that's project done. Can't wait to give this guy a go and see how well it works. So doing a little bit of concrete work here in the front. You can see the quick there. So anyways, my lot here kind of slopes. So I started part of a wall there, just as a test. And the goal is to continue it along and sort of on the corner here also make a pilaster with a lantern on top. So that's why this guy had to be created. And I'm going to put a 5-gallon bucket, catch hopefully most of these big rocks, save them for use in the walls and whatnot, and gravel. And then the dirt can be sort of spread out amongst the yard, you know. So, yeah, let's get this footing dug out. Well, it's on a little bit of the dirt through, but it's pretty moist soil because of the rains recently. So, all in all, not too bad. Yeah, pretty happy with that. So, yeah, let's get her done. Okay, it's the following morning. Hole got dug, brought her down about 18, 19 inches, then put another 2 inches of very fine gravel at the bottom. I got my standoff blocks down there. So, yeah, time to start bending some rebar and then mixing concrete. So let's get at her. So, got the first piece of rebar in there, and I'm going to add a whole bunch. This thing's going to be pretty well reinforced. But anyways, I measured the length of them, cut them down, and then if you don't have a rebar bending jig, all you need is 2 heavy pieces of pipe and a couple of trees. You mark where the bend needs to be, slide your pole right over, get them close, and then just bend the rebar as much as you need it, which is, I think, right about there. There we go. Rebar's in, a little ugly, a little sparse, but I'm going to be adding some, or throwing in some metal pieces and bits to reinforce it. And then I got some other rods there I'll stick in the pilaster. So, time to get mixing. And there we go. First course of block is wet set. I got rebar in at least 1 cell of each block. I'm going to let this cure for a little bit, and then yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll put on the 2nd and 3rd run of block with mortar. And yeah, it only ended up taking 11 bags of concrete, which was a lot of fun to mix. I just kind of tossed them all in the truck here. So yeah, this should look pretty good. And then I'm going to run electrical up this block here, which you can tell is the larger rebar, and that's going to be for the pilaster, which will have a lantern on the top. It'll be nice to get some light out here because there's no street lights. So yeah, time to relax now.